Hello. Hello, and welcome back to Space Engineers on Xbox on the Series X. And it's a D Wolfie One Plays. And also a continuation of my survival save, if you remember from the new player guide to survival. What's this, though? Well, it's a ship. It might not look like much, but it is a ship, and it can get you off planet and back onto planet. And it can be used to explore space in a limited fashion and to see if you can set up an infrastructure out there beyond the confines of the Earth like planet. And it's fairly simple to build. I actually have a build video of this particular kind of ship up on the channel that I did ages ago, which probably needs a bit of an update because of the way things have altered since. So I'm tempted to rebuild it here on my survival save. If you remember, we've got our little prospecting craft that we made last time that's sitting there quite happily recharging, and it's having fun. If you open the control panel and you look at the batteries, and remember on this grid they'll be in white, they should be charged soon. So how do we get started on something like this, which will have at least 2 batteries and solar panels and all that good stuff to ensure that it keeps charged, especially during the day or in space when orientated towards the sun properly? Well, if you look at our batteries on this thing, I just used regular batteries, not warfare. They're doing quite well, being charged by the solar panels. What you want to build this is a large hydrogen tank. So if you remember, we have our little construction area here, but before we do that, let's make sure I've got enough. I've got 70% in that and 2 more bottles. That's fine. We're going to need to do a thing. We're just going to need to activate any control seat or panel or any way to get onto the grid. And we want our rotor here. And this time, instead of adding a small head, we're just going to add a bog standard rotor head. Pop out the welder, left trigger, pop over here, and RB inventory. Oh, hold on a second. I may already have something in the build planner from last time, so let's just go back here, open this up, yeah, and just press the inventory button and you'll deposit all except your tools and your hydrogen bottles back in the box. Nice, quick, simple, easy. So this time we want to open our build planner and just press Y twice. This time, let's get it right. Over here, left trigger. Over here, right bumper, inventory button. Build. So now we have our rotor. And the reason that I tend to use a rotor, I've explained before, is that you can recharge your grid off your main power grid while you're building, because power will transfer directly through a rotor. So what we want is a large hydrogen tank first, and we want to build some form of gantry. And I tend to go for a tall gantry. And of course, we're building in survival, so we're going to need some metal plates. This gantry doesn't need to be built though, so we can just take as many metal plates as we want. Let's transfer 30 by holding down the left bumper and tapping A 3 times. And then we'll start thinking about our gantry as a very simple thing, just to get us some height off the ground and then give us some space to play with. I think one more up. One more. And we'll just pop a little platform here so that if we need to turn the pack off, we can do that. Right, we're going to build our hydrogen tank off there, and if you look at the way this has been built over here, there's going to be a landing gear. So when this thing is in the air, I can attach a landing gear to it and finish it off. Cheeky little quick save on that. Both bumpers and X. And there we go. Let's go to our build menu, all the way to gas and logistics, onto this part, and queue up a hydrogen tank. Now, we should not be able to take all of this into the inventory at once, but we can take as much as we can. And we should be able to get the base of a hydrogen tank built. And hopefully I've given myself enough room to add the rocket engine, the hydrogen engine. So there. There's not enough room. The good news is that I can take out some of it, or I can look and think, okay, well, yeah, there's probably not going to be enough room with that. So, pull that out, and go up again. Another 3 blocks. And this is what happens when you build in survival and not creative, which is why I always say, give survival a go. That should be enough. See how it all fit. And the line. Obviously, we're going to look now. Getting the majority of this built. It will build pretty quickly due to the fact that I'm using tier 3 tools. Look at the production. Should be everything there. Steel tubes are missing. Let's see though what we can do. We need 2 large steel tubes to build the hydrogen tanks. So maybe we've run out of resources. Let's have a look. And you can see that small steel tubes, large. And so if that happens, all you have to do is just manually pull them out. Sometimes the system decides it doesn't want to play ball. And then we have our first part of this we'll need a large hydrogen engine as well. At any point, we may run out of materials, so I'm going to have to go off and do some mining. And unlike other videos, I'm not going to miss that part out, because that part of Space Engineers is important. And if you look around at the blue GPS markers, you'll see I've got several marked, including cobalt, so we're good. And what we want here is a large hydrogen thruster. So we'll put that build planner, and we'll put the components into production, and we can watch production going on there. And I've got 2 assemblers. If you watch the whole series of this from start to end, you'll see how I built this base up from nothing, just from the pod, and how I got to where I am at the moment. We were extremely lucky on this run, though, because we spawned very, very, very close to cobalt, which made setting this thing up really easy. You can see the second assembler was handling all the interesting bits. So the large hydrogen thruster, let's pull out all the components we can. And remember, we're working with a limited inventory, so I'll just do what we do in creative. Position this, and if you find you're having trouble positioning things, just turn back off, step back a bit, hold down the left bumper and press up on the D-pad or down on the D-pad, and you can sometimes move the blueprint around. But if you lock this part here like this and then change the rotation axis like that, you can get it in the right place. Start building this. We're going to run out of what we need. Come back down, pull it all out, and go back up. Build our large hydro thruster. Large hydrogen thruster, and this part of the ship here will be the top, and underneath here will be the bottom. As you can see, like that. So we're going to need 4 of these hydrogen thrusters. Go around the bottom of the large hydrogen thruster. And I'm going to be breaking this down into several parts, as I don't want the video to run overly long. And of course, once we get our hands on the brand new update, I'll be doing lots of videos on that and refining things that I used to do. A lot more. So, all that to look forward to. So, hydrogen thrusters, 1, 2, 3, 4, onto the build planner, and we'll put the parts into production again and see if we can build or pull any parts out. As you can see, as they're being built, I'm tapping the inventory button and slowly pulling the parts out till my inventory is full. As they're being built. That's it, can't pull any more out. So let's see what we can do. Thrusters here. And we don't want that one, so we push up on the D-pad. We want one here. 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 Now, an important tip for you is that this thruster here, when activated, could cause damage to that block if you have thruster damage enabled in your options. So if you build this whole thing and then wonder why it comes crashing to the ground when you turn the thrusters on, it's because that thruster has burned through that block and severed it from the grid. What you might want to do is extend this gantry out a little bit more and link it back on here, about there, so you can safely delete that block, and then the whole thing is stable. Or you could build a set of blocks like this, but there are several blocks worth of distance on the thruster flame that can cause block damage. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. So let's build up this hydro thruster here, and this one as much as we can here, and by the time we get back down here we should have the rest of the thruster components. This build is extremely cheap. I wouldn't say it's the cheapest build you can use to get out from Grav, but I have successfully used that one over there to do the same in the past, and unless things have altered drastically, it should work now. So what you're looking at now is the lower part of that. We're going to need 2 batteries and a curved conveyor with 1 more thruster. So 2 batteries, curved conveyor with 1 more thruster. So let's put another thruster into the build planner, then skip along to the batteries, put 2 of those in, and start the whole lot off. And to talk about the new update, it's worth looking at Keen's teaser for the new block that's part of it. I know a little bit more about what's coming, but I'm under a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't say anything. However, I can talk about what we've seen, and that has been the event controller, which looks to be very, very interesting indeed. It will enable building grids like never before without the use of complex scripts, and it'll put more complex systems at the hands of Xbox users like myself and allow us to make airlocks and various things like that a lot easier. I will be going through it all, and I will be demystifying the block and following guides, and then bringing it all to Xbox videos to show you how it works. I'm looking forward to that, and I'm also looking forward to the other things that are coming, because I'm going to have a field day with all the new content that's on the way. The new update is so much more than just that block. While we're at it, while we're waiting, I'm going to pop over here and recharge one of our bottles. There's no room at the moment in the generator, so if we hold both bumpers down and tap A 2 or 3 times, we'll pull about 3k out. We can put the bottle in, take the bottle out, and put the 3k back. And now we should be good for our hydrogen, and then we'll just come to the recharge on the power, and we'll also recharge our hydrogen while we're at it. Should all be done now, so Let's see what we can do. Just like my other one, I want 2 batteries. I will just use the bog standard ones. And of course, batteries and a limited inventory always a pain. So we're going to have to do this piecemeal and just build as we can. I also remember we need to build the curved conveyor tube and the last thruster. That's what's holding things up as well. So get our curved conveyor onto the build planner. Curved conveyor tube will do. I also like to have numerous amounts of components going at any one time, so we have a surplus of them. Looking at the build planner. If you have a problem with this as well, what you could do is you could clear the build planner by pressing Y, and then just add the things that you need, like this. Same deal. Put all the things back you don't need, and then pull that out. So this time we'll build our curved conveyor tube on this part of the video. Won't appear in the used, and just push up on the D-pad a couple of times to get what you want. Pop that down, build it up, and you'll see that now we should be able to bring in. Hopefully we've got enough of the parts now for the rest of it. So let's grab that hydrogen thruster. Try that again. Add it to the build planner. Able to build that, and then when we build that, we can finish the batteries off. And we're going to be building 2 generators as well for oxygen and hydrogen. So let's get the batteries back on the build planner. Yeah, and we'll do them one at a time actually. We're not picking up too many parts. First battery, like so. And then the battery will start charging as it's connected to my main base headquarters. Up again, like so. Yep. So we have 2 batteries. It's starting to resemble something similar to this. And we'll want the 2 generators. a conveyor between the cockpit and these generators. We're going to require a couple of cargo containers because we want to store cargo and ice on board this thing. Especially if we look out and we hit the area where the asteroids spawn and we find an ice asteroid. In which case, if we do, I'd suggest building a small base on the ice asteroid and potentially using that as a fuel source to expand further into space. Somewhere out there are the moon and at least Mars on this scenario. So the next thing we want, I'd say, are our 2 generators. Our 2 oxygen hydrogen generators. So again, gas and logistics. O2H2 generator times 2. Let's see if we've got the parts already in storage. Nope, so we'll put all this back into production. And pull them all out. And conserving fuel while you're not flying around. It's important. And we want this like this, so we can put the cargo containers either side. If you want to build from the that, so we'll go for one there and one there. One, and that's the other. And now we've got the neck of our vessel starting to take shape. Going to need 2 cargo containers and a conveyor. Start putting that together. So, well, we've got a conveyor junction already. So let's put that into the build planner. And then let's whip up a couple of more cargo containers. Again, just put the whole lot into production, LB, and inventory. Like so. And let it run. And our second assembler tootling away, doing its thing. There we go again. Pull them all out with RB and inventory. And pop them down onto the grid. First of all, the conveyor junction. Cycle through until we've got exactly what we want. Like so. Fill it up. Find our boxes. Put them down. Put them up. And we get in there, slowly but surely. Going to need 2 curved conveyors and 2 spotlights, a beacon, a gyroscope, and the aforementioned industrial cockpit. If you want to make it using the same style of cockpit that I did. That on the build planner. And while we're at it, we'll put a couple of curved conveyors into the build queue as well. If we run out of main resources, we've got the drill there, which we can move across and also down. And it's not gone very deep so far, so we're good. We've also got a ton of modules on the base from last time, improving our yield from the refinery and our speed on the assembler. Up we go. Rotating this like this. Get that in the right place. It's easy to see where the industrial cockpit fits. Like so. Hold that up. And then we want to link oxygen to the cabin. With just a couple of curved conveyors. So it's starting, as I said, to take shape and resemble our long-necked original here. Finish it off. 2 solar panels, a gyroscope and a beacon, but we're running slightly over my 30 minutes for this one, so I'm going to halt it there, but don't worry, I will be back with the second part of this, and when it's all set up, we'll take it off out there and have a look around the immediate area of space near the Earth-like planet, see what there is, see if we can find an ice asteroid. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Stay safe, take care, have fun, enjoy the game, as I always say. But you'll enjoy it even more when this new update comes out. I can't wait to go through this for you, to demystify it, to clarify a few things. Until then, though, bye for now.